Hi, my name is Vanessa van Dijk, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can use Good Molecules BHA Clarified Gel Cream, which contains 0.4% of salicylic acid, which refers to BHA. And this can help you to let go of the dead skin cells on the skin surface, unclog pores, regulates oiliness, and has anti-inflammatory properties. Along with salicylic acid, it also contains great hydrating and soothing ingredients, so the overall formulation is a very gentle hydrating and soothing exfoliation treatment that can be used then in this case ideally on normal to oily blemish prone skin, so that you can theoretically use a gel on its own and it's less likely to cause any dryness. But yet at the same time feels very lightweight, non-greasy and hydrating on the skin. And so when working with this treatment, you can use it in the morning and or evening, so once or twice per day daily. And if you would like to include it in a skincare routine where you're using other products as well, then you have to keep the order of application in mind. So I have prepared for you an example routine that's suitable for normal to oily blemish prone skin. And so you can see one example right here for the morning. So you would use the salicylic acid gel cream just before applying your sunscreen in the morning. As for your evening skincare routine, it can be the last step in your evening skincare routine. And it's not going to replace your moisturizer, but because you have already normal to oily blemish prone skin, it can be used as the last step, kind of like not really instead of your moisturizer, but it helps to hydrate and soothe the skin, yet exfoliates the skin in a very gentle way. So therefore it's completely fine to use that one on its own. There's no need to use a moisturizer on top of it. And so this would be then the example routine that you can follow based on the steps, or even if it targets your specific concerns. If you now want to learn more about what the products that I have picked, if you're planning on recreating the routine, you will find everything in the PowerPoint which I have prepared for you. There you will find all the products that I have listed with a little description next to it. You will find more information about general skincare tips such as pilling, this is the most common issue, and for example, a great sunscreen guide to get more information about how you should use your sunscreen where it is important. And so you will find all that information in the description box down below in the PowerPoint. But now I want to keep my focus on the entire application. And the way on how I would suggest using the gel and how I personally prefer to use the gel is keeping the routine as simple as possible. And so this would be then using the gel on its own. So in the morning you're going to wash your face, use the gel, then sunscreen. In the evening just wash your face and then use the gel, and then there you have it. And so that's now what I'm basically going to show you. I'm going to get started with the cleansing step and I'm going to finish with the sunscreen. So I'm going to follow a morning skincare routine so that you can see this visually. So please do not forget that your cleansing step in the morning and evening is very important to remove any excess oil, dirt, sweat from the skin, sunscreen and makeup if you're going to do this in the evening, so that you have a freshly washed and clean face, that with the treatments that you're going to then use on the skin, that they can work effectively, that they are not going to get hindered by any excess oil or whatsoever you have on the skin surface. Now, when washing your face, work with a cleanser that works well for your skin type. And this can be done above the sink or in the shower. When washing your face above the sink, I highly recommend using a soft, clean microfiber washcloth in between. Wet it, squeeze it out, and this can help you to remove any last traces of your sunscreen and or makeup, or even a cleanser on its own. And when working with water, always use lukewarm water to warm water if you can. It just makes things much more comfortable and you're making sure that you can properly remove it as well. So let's go ahead and get started. So now go ahead and take a clean towel and gently pat all over to remove the excess water from the skin surface. So and once you're done with your cleansing step, now it's the time to move on to your BHA Clarified Gel Cream if you want to use it on its own. Otherwise, remember the order of application if you're using more than one product. Now, when it comes to the BHA Clarified Gel Cream, you can use it two ways. Either just use it in the affected area, such as, for example, now my forehead, or depending on how much acne you have that you're trying to target, you can also use it over your entire face, maybe your neck as well if you have it on your jawline too. So you can go ahead and adjust it depending on your concern. Just make sure to not get it into your eyes nor into your mouth. Please do not use it on top of your eyelids and do not bring it too close to the lower lash line. So when working only in an affected area, just use, a tiny amount so that you can cover the entire area that you're planning to treat with this gel cream treatment. Otherwise, use about a pea to a bean size amount for your entire face and maybe again your neck as well. So I'm just going to use a bit. If you now want to say, well, I just want to target my forehead, then I have about that much, and then you can just apply it on that area. Otherwise, if you now say you want to use it all over, well then just use a bit more so that you have enough to apply an even and thin layer that easily absorbs into the skin when doing the application. So, and once you have applied it all over, you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. So if this is going to be your evening skincare routine, you're going to leave it on the skin like this on its own, or if you have used some previous products, then that's fine. This is going to be the last step in your evening skincare routine, and then you're going to leave it on skin overnight and then wash it off the next morning when washing your face again when doing your morning skincare routine. Otherwise, if this is going to be your morning skincare routine, well, now would be the time to follow on with your sunscreen, which is important if you have sun exposure, so that you can properly protect the skin and that your blemishes are not getting worse in discoloration, and that you can in overall prevent also any fine lines and wrinkles and the damage that the UV rays are going to do to the skin. Now, what's really important to keep in mind is to make sure that the gel treatment is able to fully absorb into the skin. So this may take about 1 to 2 minutes before you're going to apply your sunscreen on top. And so then go ahead, grab your favorite sunscreen. If you have blemish prone skin, this would be ideal, a mineral sunscreen. Otherwise, if you do not like the white cast, the option would be a chemical sunscreen. Nonetheless, what's not going to change is how much you're going to use. So I have an overall general guide of how much you're going to use. So for your face, neck, as well as your ears, use about half a teaspoon. If you want to include your décolletage, use about 1 teaspoon. This is just a general guide. If you have a larger face, smaller face, this can be slightly adjusted, but overall you should use a fair amount to properly protect the skin. So I have NIOD Survival 30 right here. I'm going to give it a good shake before I'm going to dispense it in my half a teaspoon right here to give you a visual guide. Then dispense it in the palm of your hand. You do not necessarily need to use a spoon. This is just to give you some guidance when using your sunscreen. And then apply it evenly all over. You can use your sunscreen around the eyes if that's fine for your skin, if it does not irritate your eyes. If that should be the case, leave out the eye area and then either wear sunglasses instead, or you're going to replace your sunscreen and then use one that you can use around the eyes. Nonetheless, apply your sunscreen about 10 to 15 minutes before sun exposure. And so that's it. Once you have applied it all over, you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. And this would be a very simple, straightforward example morning skincare routine on how you can use Good Molecules BHA Clarified Gel Cream. Now, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did so, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up as well as share it with your friends. And if you want to learn more about Good Molecules products or in general skincare, I'm going to leave some of the playlists at the end of this video. Otherwise, feel free to check out my YouTube channel. And I will see you soon in the next one. Happy skincaring! Bye!